Hi Elliot, thanks for taking time to speak to me today. You've been at Glentoran now for 18 years, but in August 1999 you went across the water to West Brom. What do you remember from playing?
Mostly good memories, a lot of good memories. Obviously didn't end too well with getting released. But yeah, 5 good years, 2 years YTS, 3-year pro. Say, played plenty of football, especially the younger years. Getting into the last year of the 3rd year pro, I didn't really play too much, so I sort of had a guess and I knew what was coming near the end of that season, so it wasn't too much of a shock in terms of getting released. And obviously we were getting into the Premier League at that stage, so yeah, I'd say mostly good memories and just learning and just being about the professional, such a high and elite team was fantastic.
West Brom loaned you to Doncaster Rovers. How did that go?
It went well to a certain extent. Obviously, again, at the start I went loaned, meant to play in a game, it was a night game, and at the time there was train delays and train strikes and stuff like that at the time, and they asked for a loan, say it was a Tuesday, and I had to travel down for the Wednesday, so it was all a bit of a rush, and the game was obviously the Wednesday night, so I was travelling down on the train and didn't realise about delays and stuff at that stage, and ended up arriving at half time at the game, so it didn't go down too well, but they managed to get beat 3-0, which again didn't make it easy, but they managed to get in training the next day, and they let me off with a good performance in training the next day, and they let me off with it and kept me for, initially it was a month, and they kept me for a second month, and then they wanted me for a third month, but West Brom wouldn't let them keep me for the third month, and they brought me back.
In 2002 you came back and joined Glentoran, and you're still here, but what was it about Glentoran that made you want to sign?
Obviously the stature of the club within the league. It's obviously probably one of the top two clubs in the whole of the country, and I didn't, as soon as I came home, I didn't really think about going back across or trying to sign for anyone else back across the water. It was just initially came back, got released, and then I got a phone call from Roy Coyle. Obviously a couple of different options as well, from the same league, and listen, Glentoran's a massive club, and at that stage I think they'd previously won the league and the Irish Cup 2 or 3 previous seasons, so it was a no-brainer for me.
Moving on to the Irish Cup. In Monday week, Glentoran faced Cliftonville in the Irish Cup semi-final for a place in the final. How many Irish Cups have you played in and won?
Played in 5, won 3, so my average is good. Listen, the Irish Cup's a fantastic day, the atmosphere is unbelievable. I know this probably sounds silly, but in a certain way, winning the Irish Cup and being involved in the Irish Cup final and winning it is, again, not saying it's better, but the experience altogether is better. That day, everything that surrounds the day, your new suit, get onto the pitch, the massive crowd, TV coverage around it all, just everything about it. It's a fantastic experience. Now, I'm not saying it's better than winning the league, but I'm just saying the experience of the euphoria of the day is unbelievable. It's hard to explain, but being involved in 5 of them, potentially if I'm greedy I probably could have got a couple more, but listen, some people never play in 1, and to play in 5 is unbelievable.
What are your nerves like when you're walking out onto the pitch of an Irish Cup final?
Yeah, you're nervous. You're nervous to the extent of you don't want to let anyone down. There's so many people there, so many people watching. The nerves are just, you want to perform and you want to show how good you are. So I think that's where the nerves come from. But again, with the day being so big and so many people watching it, yeah, it's just all about going out there and trying to do your best and perform.
Are you excited for this year's Irish Cup semi-final and possibly the final as well? And what will it be like playing behind closed doors without the fans?
Yeah, I'm excited for the semi-final. Really excited. It's going to be a different experience this time, and it's probably one that will be remembered for different reasons. Again, it'll be one that if you do manage to go on and win the cup, it'll be remembered, as I say, for a whole load of different experiences this time around. But listen, any cup semi-final is a massive plus for Glentoran and any club. So I'm just looking forward to getting there and hopefully playing first and foremost. If not, obviously the team performing well, winning and getting into the final.
You never really get goalkeepers scoring, but you managed to score a goal last season against Institute. Can you tell us about your goal?
Yeah, well, again, I don't think a lot of people believe me when I say I actually meant it, but it was just one of those things. Seeing him, the other goalkeepers just standing on his 18-yard line, and I had a bit of a wind behind me, and the sun was up and in his eyes, and I just smashed it, and the wind carried it, and thankfully it went in, and it didn't make me look stupid. But no, listen, at that stage we were on a really bad run, and it was a case of just trying to get a result and trying to get a win. And I'm not saying that I went out that day to try and score a goal, but all I'm saying is we tried to get the win, and thankfully I kept a clean sheet first and foremost. The goal was just an added plus and something that will live with me for the rest of my career.
You've made nearly 750 appearances for Glentoran, but what has been your best or most memorable game?
Well, there's been a lot. Yeah, the Krakow game, my first European game here. The Irish Cup 2013 here, or Windsor, that was a great game. Morgan Day. There's been a lot of big games I've been involved in, but it's difficult. I always said that the 13 game Irish Cup against Cliftonville, where they were such a superior team to everyone that year, and they won the league with 3 or 4 games to spare, and no one gave us a chance that year. We weren't getting paid our wages for long periods, and the club was basically on its knees at that stage. And yeah, I'll probably go for that game, Irish Cup 2013.
What has been the best penalty save you've made in your career?
Oh flip, no. You've got me. Probably, listen, again, I'll have to go back to the West Brom days where I was at, we played a Youth Cup final at Wembley. Managed to play one of the last games at Wembley. I think it was the last game at Wembley. Managed to save 2 penalties and again score a penalty, so we managed to go on and win the cup. And again, fantastic experience to play at Wembley Stadium, and the old Wembley that is. Yeah, probably go for the 2 penalty saves at Wembley.
You've represented your country playing for the Northern Ireland under-21s. How special was that?
Yeah, again, unbelievable experience. Never actually managed to make it a full international. I was on the bench once against Ukraine, over in Ukraine. I never managed to get the full international, unfortunately, but again, playing at any level for your country, and again I got a B cap away to Scotland, which is fantastic. But playing at any level for your country is a great experience. I always look forward to them. We always look forward to playing against the better players from different countries. Yeah, great experience, fantastic experience.
Not many people want to be goalkeepers. What made you want to be a goalkeeper?
I think, again, go back to the younger days when I was at school and that. I used to play right wing and right back, and I think our keeper that day, one of the days, he went off injured and no one wanted to win that, so I jumped in them and just managed to, I saved the penalty that day actually, and that was it. I couldn't get out of the nets. They just stuck me in nets ever since, so I haven't been able to get out of them.
Do you want to tell us a bit about your goalkeeping coaching?
Yes, well, I've been coaching now for about 6 years. I have my own goalkeeper, myself and the Crusaders goalkeeper coach, Davy McClellan. We have our own goalkeeping school now for about 6 years. Now that's obviously, you're talking 10 to 18-year-olds, but when you come into the sort of this level, again, I only started at this level last season. a different experience, different type of coaching, and again, it was sort of difficult for me last year trying to player coach as well, where I'm trying to keep myself fit, trying to keep myself sharp, and trying to keep the other boys sharp as well, and making sure everyone gets enough time in training to get themselves ready for match days. So it's a different experience, a different mindset, and again, I'm still learning at this level. So again, Mick has a friend of his over at the minute from Colombia. He's the Colombian goalkeeper coach. So he's actually over at the minute, and again, I'm taking things from him. I'm learning from him. And again, I learn from different people as well. I learn from my friend Davey McClellan, who's a Crusaders. And just trying to make my own sort of style of coaching as well. So yeah, at this level, it's early days, but yeah, it's going well. It's going very well.
And finally, what advice would you give to young people wanting to be a goalkeeper?
Keep yourself mentally prepared for making mistakes. Get yourself mentally prepared for making mistakes, because every goalkeeper at every level makes mistakes. You have to be mentally strong for that position. People say about striker being the main position or the most important position. I actually think the goalkeeper is the most important position on the pitch. Any team that has won anything or been successful have always had a very, very good goalkeeper. So mentally, get yourself prepared to be mentally strong. It's a very difficult position to play.
Thanks very much for taking time to talk to me.
No
and all the
problem.
best
Thank you very
for
much.
the Irish Cup semi-final.
Thank you very much. All the best.